our favorite Nintendo consoles. Figured this would be a good one to bring you on because you had a different take on it. You were going to talk about the Nintendo 3DS. We can get into that.
Portable.
Yeah. So Nintendo platform might be the more accurate description for this segment. And we have giveaways and stuff later to get back into. But yeah, I'll start with you, Mary, because like I said, you're not always on camera. This is the last time. So hit me with your favorite Nintendo platform. I kind of just prefaced it.
Right. Yeah. It would have to be the 3DS, which has just been so monumental to my life these last few years. It's like my go-to. I put it in a bag and I take it with me. It's just done such a great job at having really quality games. And you guys already talked about all the really good Zeldas, which are on the 3DS, right? But including like A Link Between Worlds, which was GameSpot's Game of the Year 2013. So you're talking really high quality games, some in which you can only get on the 3DS. And then in addition to that, I would say it's the most social portable handheld that you can find right now. From games like Super Smash Bros. To Mario Kart, it lets you play with a pool of friends even if they don't own the game. And I think that's really cool and innovative, and I think every console should follow that, right? I think if your friend has it, you should be able to play with them and enjoy that game at that time.
Well, a better example in Street Pass.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That was such a smart move by Nintendo.
It's really fun, and I don't know if we utilize it as much as like Japan does. Like, it is incredible if you go overseas and then you like check your 3DS and you get check-ins from people all over the world. Yeah. All over the world who love their 3DS, and they give you a little message and they have little hats and
they live in your 3DS.
And
you can literally open it up.
And I've contained a lot of humans in there.
These are people that I was near at one point in my life.
I like that. This little reminder that there are other people that like the same thing that you do. And to the point where, you know, with a lot of Pokemon games and other games now, you can like fight with them on the street, right? You can like challenge kids and stuff.
To fist fights.
That's right. Especially if you lose. I remember like being at a party, like a kind of like one of those like lame parent parties, right? But one of them had a young kid who was like super shy, wouldn't talk to anyone, had a 3DS. We played 3DS games. Like, it was a very social interaction that I enjoyed. It was a way for me to connect with another dude that I would never been able to connect with. And then on top of that, they did a really good connection with the Wii U. I was able to play Monster Hunter 3 and connect onto the Wii U and play online with another person. Awesome. So I'm playing Monster Hunter 3, and then I maybe have to go somewhere. I hop on a bus and I can continue leveling up my character. I'd never seen that before. I know you could do that. And that's such a precursor to what it's doing now, right? Which is play at home and then take it with you and keep playing. So 3DS is very near and dear to my heart. It's funny, like somebody just asked me the other day, like, what's the best handheld in your opinion? And it's gotta be that 3DS. Like, it's just the most social, friendly handhold there is that lets you play other games with other people and talk about games with other people.
I love the 3DS primarily for its library. I think the amount of awesome games on there that you can't play on any other platform is unreal.
And you got to include the DS library with that too, because it's backwards compatible.
And like, not to mention, like you said, all like older Zelda games, older like Metroid games are on there.
Yep.
Well, in general, it's one of my favorite handhelds too. It is my favorite handheld that I've ever had, but I'm just playing like Majora's Mask 3D, Ocarina of Time 3D lately. Between those re-releases, between the digital library, it's pretty unreal.
Yeah, it's so broad too. Like really hardcore games like Bravely Default that take hours and hours and hours to play, or maybe you're just like more into a platformer, and then you should play Shovel Knight, which is like such a rad indie game. Like, you're talking about a huge specter of games for all sorts of different people.
Plus, it's just comfortable as hell, especially the XL. I mean, the original one would like cut into your palms a little bit, but I could play for a long time on the XL now with the rounded corners and everything. It's just, the size is perfect. You can bring it anywhere, but it's also big enough to not feel like you're squinting. 3DS is great. What is your favorite console, Pete?
Do you want to know?
Yeah, I want to. Do I want to know, or
do you really want to know?
I really want to know, Peter Brown.
It's the stupid Nintendo, the Super Nintendo.
Surprise, surprise. If it's not collecting dust on Peter Brown, I don't care about it.
Actually, it's the Super Famicom, to be specific.
What is that?
This is Japanese one? Yeah. No. Okay, just talk about an excellent library of games like Super Nintendo.
Cultured.
Yeah. Super Nintendo's got it.
Have you been to Japan?
You can go to Japan?
Yeah. Wait, it's not a company?
I thought it was just like a thing people made up. Anyway, shut up. Excellent library, right? A lot of the things people say about 3DS, you could also say about the Super Nintendo. But one of the things I really loved just growing up as a kid was that the Super Nintendo seemed to just nail like the logical conclusion of like 2D pixelated games at the time. Everything the NES wanted to be, the Super Nintendo was, and then some. And it even branched out and introduced 3D gaming in certain ways as well. Like Star Fox, for example, totally unprecedented for a console game. So there are a lot of reasons why that system will always be near and dear to my heart. But, you know, the games that I love about it, the ones that I play on Virtual Console, like those originated on Super Nintendo. And so its legacy is still felt today. So I'll always remember it as my favorite.
What's a game you still go back to?
Super Metroid. Hands down, easy. Yeah. Final Fantasy 6, great.
I've been meaning to play that.
Or I mean 3 in America.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Chrono Trigger, you a fan?
Oh my God, Chrono Trigger's that is one of the.
He's gonna cry.
Oh
no, it's that game. It was just the perfect storm of creative visions and people working on it. Like, have you guys played Chrono Trigger before?
Yeah. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. Like me, did you find that like once you start playing it, it's just really hard to stop playing? Like from the beginning of the game, not like a random session, but whenever I start playing Chrono Trigger, the soundtrack, the series of events, like. It feels great all over again every time.
Yeah, the storytelling in general is unreal.
Yeah.
The fact that you can
Music
finish it
is
how many different ways?
The music
Incredible.
is insane.
I like to listen to the music on like road trips and stuff. Like that's got a fantastic soundtrack.
I'm listening to it right now.
Plus the characters in general.
Sing it for me, Peter.
I like the characters in that game
Sing
too.
it. Characters are really good. Except that robot. That damn robot.
Oh, what's his name?
Robo.
Chibi? Robo?
Robo. And the frog.
I was gonna. We had kind of brought it up earlier, but mine's the N64. It's what I grew up on. Kind of came of age, so to speak. Ocarina. I remember we got Ocarina of Time like day one in '98. Would it have been 98? Between that, Majora's Mask, playing GoldenEye, playing Perfect Dark, the rare shooters. Before they started working on or when they were working on like Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie after that. But yeah, I don't know. I still remember playing Ocarina. I have 4 older siblings, and they were always the ones buying the games. I would just play whatever they got. And then Ocarina was the one that I remember I would always get to like the water temple, and my brother would have to do it for me just because, I don't know, I forget how old I was. In 98, I would have been really young. But
too stupid to do the water temple.
Still too stupid to do the water temple. But I remember that was like, it was weird that really was, once I beat Ocarina, I felt like I could beat anything. But yeah, there's Goob. Fact, Mike became a man thanks to the N64. I don't know what you think I did to that console, Goob. But
expansion port, huh?
Yeah. Neo Jet Angel.
What?
The N64 hard drive is pretty okay. The Perfect Dark was amazing according to Neo Jet Angel. I completely agree. Not Perfect Dark Zero on the 360. That game is bullshit. Perfect Dark in general on the N64 is fantastic. The N64 I still play. You ever play Road Rash?
Yeah.
That's a game that
on Genesis though. Back when it was cool.
Nah, dude. It came.
Nice, Peter.
It was the thing to play on N64
with the licensed soundtrack, I believe.
On Road Rash? No, it had its own thing.
Road Rash at one point, in like the most modern version of those games, had a licensed soundtrack.
Yeah, the Xbox One version. There's no Xbox One version, I know. Yeah, N64 is by far my favorite. Might be my favorite console ever. And I love the Super Nintendo. I didn't really grow up on the Super Nintendo. We had one when I was younger. And even before that, when I was even younger, we had an NES. But I never really played those as much because I wasn't old enough to do those things on my own. Just a wee tot.
Tiny little
just
Mike.
A sparkle in my father's eye.
He was the same proportions, just this big.
Yeah.
Just people put me in their pockets. I had to jump from button to button on the controller.
That's so cute.
I sucked at Mario. I never got past that first jump. I always fell.
They're probably ones that people wish that we had said that we didn't bring up, though.
Yeah. So in terms of launch lineups, I think the GameCube wasn't it really good? Was it Super Mario Sunshine? Is that it? That was a really good launch lineup.
Luigi's Mansion, I think.
Luigi's Mansion.
I forget, man. It's
the first time I played a GameCube was in a McDonald's. Remember they had those kiosks set up?
I do not remember.
Did your McDonald's have it? People will know what I'm talking about. If you're in the chat and you remember playing GameCube at McDonald's,
validate Mike.
Yes, please. Prove to them I'm not crazy. No, I played like Luigi's Mansion. Super Smash Bros. Melee was unreal on that. Wind Waker, Resident Evil 4.
Metroid Prime.
Damn, GameCube had a really good library.
GameCube to me was like the place the cool friend had, like that's where you went, and that he had a GameCube, and everyone went over to their house, like into the basement.
Wait, they didn't carry it using the handle on the back of the system over to your house?
No, I don't remember the handle ever being
Hey guys,
used.
just strutting down the street with my GameCube.
I don't remember having a handle. It was just a cube.
No, it wasn't.
It was a cube.
You're insane. It's got a handle in the back.
I never used it.
It had a
No
handle.
one did,
yeah.
but it had a handle.
It was like one big plastic brass knuckle. Yeah! Eat it. Get some chicky nibblers and then go play some Luigi's Mansion.
Oh man,
Chicky Nibblers, the
Chicky
safe
Nibs.
No.
copyright infringement. Name
yeah, I
for-
can't say what they really are.
I don't think
I used to
anybody
have. I used
calls
to
them
get a
Chicky
Big
Nibs.
Mac and then just fucking slay in Super Smash Bros. Melee. I used to people used to come up and put, instead of putting quarters on the console, you just put a little chicken nugget, and then I'd have to eat it, and then we'd play, and I'd win every time. I never had to pay for a chicken nugget my whole life because I was really good with Marth in Super Smash Bros. Melee. And
Cool.
they say games can't pay the bills.
He was like the bully of McDonald's that ruled the
Yeah.
kiosk.
Mikey McDonald.
Mikey McDonald's, they called him.
I push open the door and a buzzweed floats by. Is it buzzweed? You guys know what I'm talking about when there's duels in the
Drugs?
Wild
I
West?
never know what you're talking about anymore.
I never do either. So that's the GameCube. What about Game Boy? Game Boy Color. Not that they're the same
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
but Game Boy Color, Link's Awakening, Game Boy Advance,
You also forgot about Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages.
Oracle of Seasons, Oracle of Ages.
Was
Those are
Capcom
really good
made Zelda games?
Yeah, and they were good. Link's Awakening was,
Game Boy originally.
Boy, right.
Link's Awakening DX
and
was
they added
Game
the
Boy
color dungeon on Game Boy Color. That's a really weird Zelda, but it's really good. Tumbleweed, thank you.
What did you call them? Buzzweed?
Buzzweeds. I'm thinking BuzzFeed.
Sparkin.
420 Buzzweed. There's some more. All right.
What is that?
Anyway.
Hey, you kids want some Buzzweed?
Such a fitting. Dude, Buzzweed's legal here now.
Yeah.
In like a year.
Tell me about it.
Like you're getting arrested for carrying around all that buzzweed around.
I'm just trying to play some GameCube games. Jesus. What other consoles are we missing? I don't know. The Wii. The Wii U.
The Wii was good.
People
You
might
guys-
not
the
say the
Nintendo
Wii U
Revolution?
is their,
Virtual Boy.
their favorite, but
Virtual
the Wii
Boy.
is acknowledged as one of the greatest, revolutions. I mean, it just completely took the world by storm, and everybody's mom had a Wii, and they all did all their exercising on it. It was huge. It was a phenomenon, and I remember. My parents, who hadn't played a game in years, were playing Wii bowling and thought it was the best. And to me, that was worth it. Like, that was cool.
Does your dad like, bullshit, that was a strike and you know it?
Yeah, dude, he wasn't even standing either. You know how you played
just-
Wii U and you were like this, and then you'd be like, "Oh, that's bullshit." It's like this shitty person, but it was a fun family game, and people liked playing it together, and it did that really well. And you have to acknowledge that. That was a really cool
Guess we
time.
have to.
I was
You
the
have
Norm
to, Peter.
Duke
All right.
of Wii bowling. Do you guys know who Norm Duke is? He's that famous bowler who could do the things through the chairs and with the towel and then off people's heads.
What
you don't know who Norm
famous
Duke
thing
is.
with the towel?
Man, would you look at the time?
That's like saying you're a football fan and don't know who like Jerry Rice is. Norm Duke, dude. The Duke.
No one said we were bowling fans, so
Just talked about bowling. I didn't bring it up. You did. All right. Anyway,
I don't think
Virtual Boy,
anybody
what about that?
brags about bowling.
Virtual Boy
it
had
looks like an Imperial probe droid.
it had a great. You want to talk about Virtual Boys? I playing games in weird environments. I saw the Virtual Boy first at a Blockbuster. They had kiosks there, and like a month later, they were selling them because no one wanted it for
They're at Burger King's, too.
$30. Well, that's a lie. A great shooter from Hudson Soft. I know you guys all love Hudson Soft properties.
That was
Name one.
Bomberman.
Oh shit!
dick.
take that.
Piece of
He was ready.
Thought you were making stuff up now.
Mario Clash was an interesting game. There was the Wario had a platformer. They had a boxing game on there that was basically Punch Out in 3D. It was great. Telero-boxer.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys don't even know.
No.
Speaking of
I
boxing
don't.
games,
Come to my house. I have one. You can play it.
Speaking of boxing
Is
games
it a
on
McDonald's?
Nintendo, there's a bar in San Francisco called Soda Popinski's, and if you beat Mike Tyson in Punch Out, you get a bottle of champagne.
They discontinued that, I thought.
Oh.
They still doing it?
Probably because of Dan Riker. Didn't he do like 12 times?
He could do
Our
it
friend over
like
at
in his
Giant
sleep.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on? Favorite consoles? Nothing? Did you yeah, we talked about them all, I think. What about the Switch? What do you think of the Switch?
Not a lot
No.
of people talked about- not a lot of people talked about Wii U, honestly. Kind of came and went real quick.
Great library,
fast.
crap hardware. Enough said.
Great library. Few
Not
good,
big
few good games.
library.
No.
I think that was their problem.
Yeah. All right. What about the NES, the original one? Go back to it.
What about it?
Tell me
What
about it.
about it?
You
Tell
have
you
you have
about
like
it?
you have like 6 collector's editions unopened
Oh God, would you shut up?
in a.
I was born the same year
room.
as the NES, and I had an older brother, and he bought all the games, and I loved it, and it was my introduction into video games.
Video games.
So
I
Cool.
think a lot of our introduction to video games was probably the NES, right? Like that was the one where you saw somebody else play something. Well, at least most people at this table, I was too young, but that was like where you saw people play cool things and said, I want to play cool things too.
I'm known for loving Metal Gear, and the first one on NES was like my first experience with the series. I could never get past the second screen in that freaking game, but I played it all the time.
Dude, the bomb random
It
walls.
seems so cool.
Trial and error.
For me, it was getting around the dogs.
Oh. I played for like 2 minutes and then realized it was a bad idea. Not that it.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
What about the new Mini too? The little guy.
Classic.
It's cool. The
It's
controller
sold out real
cables are
fast.
too short.
I saw that people around the world have mentioned such short cables.
Yeah. Everyone is selling extension cables
Short
for
cables.
it. It's like, but Nintendo's not having a problem selling this thing, so that doesn't really matter. The game selection could be better, but that's splitting hairs.
You said there was like trademarks or copyright patents
Nintendo-
filed for Super Nintendo Classic.
Nintendo did something to recertify its design of the Super Nintendo controller, so it might stand a reason that we'll see them make something with that controller, be it something for Switch for Virtual Console or a Super Nintendo Classic, which I think would be in their best interest.
Cool. All right. Well, that was our discussion about not just our favorite Nintendo console, but every Nintendo console. If you're watching in the Twitch, YouTube, or GameSpot chats, let us know. You have been. It's been great. And if you're watching this on YouTube or GameSpot afterwards, let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much.